Proportional Response, Book 1, Chapter 9, Part 1. Humans in Battle. I knew my big mouth would get me killed one day, but when I walked into that bar, I never imagined it might be that day. But I am getting ahead of myself. I'd been sitting at my table, minding my own business. Well, mostly minding my own business. Well, okay, fine. Listening to the chatter around me and looking for a conversation interesting enough to join. What can I say? I had a day off from my job as station maintenance and was bored. Anyway, I'm listening to what's going on around me, trying to find a table I could join politely, when I heard it. A Findle at the next table going on and on about how the humans are bloodthirsty killers on the battlefield, and that they do almost as much damage to their allies as their enemies, and on and on. I sat there and tried to become very, very interested in my drink. Then another one of the damn bird brains took up the ball and started talking about his old-town friend, telling him how humans cared about their own kind, and only their own kind, on the battlefield. The conversation had begun to draw a crowd, and I tried to keep my interest in my drink, but then a fellow Arabso popped off with a story about how a cousin had lost half his friends on a battlefield because the company commander wasn't willing to pay the nearby human mercenary company twice the customary rescue fee. That tore it. I slammed my tankard down, bounded to my feet, and turned to lock both eyes on the Arabso standing there, basking in the near applause of the crowd. That's golf shit. What was your cousin's name, rank and company? What was the battlefield? What conflict was he in? I pulled out my phone. And don't sell me some line. I can look up the reports right now. He stood there and would only meet my gaze with one eye. Someone else spoke up to save him. Oh? So you know better? You know all about humans, do you? I've seen you around here before. What are you, a third-rate tech? What do you know about humans? I lifted my arm, pulled down my sleeve, and showed him the scar where a piece of shrapnel had gone straight through. I know that a human medic saved my life when this happened. One of the Fendil made a rude noise. Yay, right. A human medic. I heard their primary job was to kill off the wounded so that they don't slow the others down. Battle reflexes sometimes have their way, and my hand was halfway to that damned bird's beak before I managed to stop it. You've seen this, have you, feathers for brains? You've seen a medic kill an ally before? Or one of his own? I shouldn't do that, I know that. Speciest insults are crude and vulgar, yes, but I wanted the idiot pumped up enough to walk into the trap, and he obliged me. Seen it, no? But I have Zoltan friends, and they have. They told me how their medics laugh as they give mercy to the wounded, will even punch their own senseless so they can administer gargle flagerokin PDH death. My irritation finally got the better of me. I tossed the rest of my drink into the moron's beak and let him choke on it. Here, have one on me, moron, while someone who has actually seen it happen explains it to you. My friends, my fellow sapiens, I have seen a human give mercy, as this sputtering idiot here calls it, on 2 occasions. Once to a human, once to a thermicin. Both times we were under heavy fire, from your dearly loved sultans, no less. I gave the Fandil a dirty look, and had to get out in a hurry. Both men were gravely wounded, would likely not have survived if we tried to carry them out, and they would have been left to the tender mercies of red-eyed Sultan troops. Sputter's friend spoke up. Now, just one moment. Here, I don't think I like your implication. What do you mean by what you just said? It is well known that Zoltan troops comport themselves with... Someone else squelched the bird this time and saved me the trouble, so I took up his sentence. Brutality, cruelty, and a love of seeing pain in anyone other than themselves. But I was talking about human medics and them giving mercy. Let me tell you, and those of you who have been downrange know it is true, every single sapient military knows that there are times this has to be done. This is why medics are chosen from the hardest and most hard-hearted of their species, and why so many of them end up going crazy anyway. The human medics, though? No. I have seen it twice, my friends, and it shook me to my core, for those are the only times I have ever seen a human cry. Both times, the medic placed his forehead against the forehead of his patient and spoke softly while he gave the injection. When he came up, tears fell unashamed down his, or in the second case her, face, and they gripped their rifle with greater determination. That is not even half the story of human medics though, I'll tell you. As I said, one of them saved my life when I got that scar. They train to treat all species, you see. Not as extensively as they train to treat their own, of course. If they trained that extensively for all of us, they'd be old men by the time they got to the field. However, they know which drugs they carry can be used on whom, and how to dress wounds differently, and how to talk to our experts correctly to get help if they can't fix it themselves. To watch one of them work on a wounded soldier, let me tell you, my fellows, as hard as you think humans fight, their medics fight even harder when they have a patient lying on the battlefield. And that is only half the story of what human soldiers are really like. But it appears I've gone and spilled my drink.
There was laughter around the table and indignant noises from the Findle.
And my throat has become dry from all this talking.
An old bar-minus-hounds trick that. I hadn't even finished speaking when another beer popped up in the middle of the table. I couldn't tell who it came from, but didn't care. Free drinks are free drinks. Well, I'd been paid to spin my tail, so I took a deep breath, gathered them in with my eyes, and pressed forward.
Yes, my friends, I can tell you what it is really like to be on the battlefield with humans.
Some wise guy broke in.
Yay, what about against them?
I turned one eye towards him while I rolled the other.
I don't think you will find many alive who can tell you what it is like to stand against them. That much is true. I know if I was told to do so, though, exactly what I'd do.
He took the bait.
Oh yay, what's that? Run. Hard. You would too if you had any sense.
One of the Finadil broke in. I don't know why those little lick-spittles are so determined to back the Altons, but to some of them, it is practically a religion.
Oh, I see what we have here, folks. We have a human lover. I bet he'll.
Several around the table held their drinks, as if they intended to give him the same sort of freebie his friend had just received, and he withered under their stares. I continued.
Human lover? Oh no. I am scared to death of them, and would not be willing to get on the bad side of the frailest of their toothless grandmothers. And if one of them walked in here and started talking badly about the Lady of the Depths herself, I would be polite in my attempts to correct him. However, let me tell you, and you can take this to the bank like coin, if you are ever deep in the dry dust, huddled in a hole with a few of your mates, facing overwhelming odds and fire pouring in from all sides, and you get on the comms to scream for rescue, and the voice that comes out of that comm is human, it will sound as sweet to you as your mother, your chosen deity, and your own child, all rolled into one. You see, if it is not a human voice on the other end of that line, you don't know what will happen. If it's a mercenary of another species, there could be negotiations or even a refusal. Even your own military may ask you how many are pinned down and may decide to write you off. And may the depths forbid that you get sultans on the other end. Yes, sultans. I have fought in a number of different wars in my time, folks, and have fought alongside as well against them. But that is another story. May the mother help you if that is what answers your call. They won't come unless they are offered payment, and may refuse to answer again if the negations don't go to their liking. Humans, though, if a human picks up the call, the first words which will come out of that community are, "We are coming." That's it, full stop. Sometimes you can even hear them scrambling into their vehicles in the background. The next thing they do is give you an ETA. Then, after they have informed you that they are on the way and that you will live, only then do they start asking questions. And the first question is, can you hold? Not a question about force distribution, not about how many people they are actually saving, just asking if you can keep your people alive until they arrive. If you say no, then things get crazy, at least so I am told. The 2 times my battle group got help from humans, we were able to hold until they arrived, but I have heard tell of them calling in a precision orbital bombardment in order to buy time. Don't look at me like that. If you had ever met a human, or even more seen them in battle, you wouldn't doubt the story either. Humans are not creatures who take half measures.
They all sat enthralled, and so went for broke. I've been down on CSCs lately, and getting free drinks is always nice. So I took the last drink from my pint and saluted them and sat down. Someone piped up.
Oh come now, you can't stop there. You said the humans pulled you out of the fire. If you want to refute what the Findle here said, you have to tell us.
I turned to the speaker, gave a sly smile, and upended my tankard to show it was empty. Previous HTTPS divided by wjared.com divided by r divided
by HFI divided by comments divided by GP43 divided by OCNI. ITTUs divided by Reddit.com divided by R divided by R divided by R divided by Wiki divided by authors divided by Fearadhach #wiki Patreon. Next, HTTPS divided by R divided by HFI divided by comments divided by Gen and T8 divided by subreddit humans.